It's a very, very important weekend. In the Jewish tradition, of course, it's Passover, which began Wednesday night and continues through next Thursday. So it's a time where we think of spending time with our families, with people who are close to us in our lives, and know on a very, very personal level how important this is. And we understand how important faith is on a very personal level and how important it is in people's lives. And one of the things that I talk about is how do you create hope in a person's life? And one of the things that I've often thought about is the word hope itself. And I think if you break down the word hope into its four letters of home, of HOPE, the H stands for home. If you've got a place where you can go and you can feel loved and be yourself, you're likely to have hope. The second component of that is the O, and that's opportunity. And I'm talking about economic opportunity. I'm talking about jobs and things like that. The third letter of the word hope is P. And I think for many, many people, that means prayer or purpose. That if you have a prayer or a purpose in your life, you're much more likely to have hope. And then the E is for education. And I think if you have the home elements, opportunity, the prayer, the purpose, the education, you're more likely to have hope in your life. And that's something that we are desperately looking for right now as a community. It's something we're desperately looking for as a country, as a world, is we need more hope. And so to many people, it probably seems really counterintuitive or bizarre that here we are, we're talking about hope, and that includes prayer. And at the same time, we've got these stay-at-home orders that say, no, you can't go to church. You can't go to your synagogue. You can't go to your mosque. You can't go to your temple. And why are we doing that? Why is government saying you can't do that? Well, I think we all understand exactly what's going on. I think that our community now knows, and I'm really pleased with the response that we're getting, that people know that we're safer at home and how important it is to maintain the social distancing. Because when we beat this and when we crush this pandemic, it will be because we are acting as a community. And just sketched on the sidewalk in front of my house a couple of days ago was in shock was as the world separates, or as people are kept apart, the world comes together. And I think that there's a lot of truth to that this gives us an opportunity to think about our lives. And I know for a lot of people, this is an incredibly difficult period. It's a healthcare crisis, but it's also very, very, very much an economic crisis. And the number of people, and we can see that with the incredible spike in claims for unemployment. We know that there are people who are living in conditions that make it very difficult to stay at home, to be safe at home. And some of them are because they're cramped quarters, and you've got maybe multi-generations living in one house or one flat or one apartment. And then you've got other situations where people, for whatever reason, domestic violence reasons, are not safe at home, or for child neglect reasons are not safe at home. And so that weighs on all of us. And again, I know that many people turn to their faith at that time. That is the time when they turn toward their faith. And so I think it's important for us to put in context exactly what we're doing as it relates to faith, and then to hear from some of our faith leaders who will talk about how they're coping with this period and how they're able to deal with this. So I'm going to turn first over to Commissioner Kowalik. We have also with us Tim Kiske, who is with the Catholic Church. We've got Sean Tatum, who's with us as well, and Pradeep Kalika and from Interfaith. So I'm going to ask each of them to talk about this as well. But I want Commissioner Kowalik to talk about this from a faith perspective, but also from a public health perspective, what we're trying to do and why this is so critically important for our community and is so consistent. I believe what we are doing, whether you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish, whether you're a Muslim, any religion, I think what we are doing as a community is consistent with the faith beliefs underpinning each one of those faiths. So with that, Commissioner Kowalik, I want to thank you for your leadership and ask you to talk a little bit about this incredibly important issue.
Thank you, Mayor Barrett. As Mayor Barrett noted, that hope is very important for us right now, for all of us. It's what's going to pile us or enable us to move through this difficult time. And I want to also just highlight that this is a weekend for many of us that represents sacrifice. So what we're doing as a community, as a state, and many parts of the country is sacrificing what we are accustomed to doing and what we normally like to do and what we're comfortable with for the future. So COVID-19 is a disease that's threatening our way of life. It's taking many of our loved ones. It's causing disability in many of our people. And as you know, that there's new data now showing disparities, that there are African American people, my community, that continue to suffer from this disease all across the country. So again, this is about sacrifice and delayed gratification or satisfaction. So the Safer at Home order, which was issued by the governor a couple of weeks ago, created some clarity related to essential or exemptions for essential types of businesses and services. Religious organizing and groups were included in that Executive Order 12. But the difference there is there was a limit on the number of people that can congregate. We know that COVID-19 can move through a group of people very quickly. For instance, Chicago released information yesterday about their initial case of COVID-19 and how this person went to a birthday party and a funeral, and how just by hugging other people infected them, and some of these people passed away from COVID-19. And we know in religious services, we like to greet one another, sign of peace, hug one another. And unfortunately, we don't know if we're infected or not. So making sure you're not exposing yourself to other people is extremely important right now to help us snuff COVID-19 out. The limit, again, is 10 people. So the 10 people need to be apart 6 feet. We call that social or physical distancing. The governor's order also allows a church or a religious service to have multiple services, smaller services, to bring people together. So I have seen some where they're doing like every 90 minutes, they're having like a 1 hour service and then cleaning in between each one. That is totally acceptable. I've also seen where religious groups are able to bring together, say, the praise and worship team or some of the ministers or priests or leaders to broadcast service out using YouTube, Facebook Live, or other types of technology, which is totally okay. But again, making sure that there's this distance between one another and that there's enhanced cleaning, which is really, really important to help protect others from the virus. And then lastly, the governor released some clarification. So there were questions about drive-in and drive-through services. Unfortunately, we know not everyone has a car. So this is also a limiting factor for people that don't have their own vehicles. But he did say that meeting in the parking lot in your cars, and there not being any, getting out of your cars and celebrating or doing anything like that is okay. So again, there's no limit on that if you're meeting in an open space outdoors, but the limit of 10 people is definitely required for indoor because we know how quickly COVID-19 can spread. So again, this is about sacrifice. We know that the timing is not ideal right now for many of our faith community members and leaders, but using technology enables us to stay together and stay connected. And if you do choose to bring smaller groups together, making sure you're enhancing or reinforcing the cleaning and sterilizing in between groups, and that people are 6 feet apart from one another. Again, I just want to encourage everyone that we need hope and we need to lead by example. This is a very uncertain time, but we're going to get through it. So thank you for your leadership, your optimism, and evoking hope in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Father Tim?
Yes, Mayor. Good morning.
Good morning. If you could talk a little about from your perspective and what you're seeing with your churches, and any words that you can share with people who follow the Catholic faith, and how you're dealing with this at this.
Yeah. Thanks, Mayor. Thanks, Commissioner. Thanks to my fellow people there. This is an odd way to talk. I wish we were all out having a coffee. But Mayor, I appreciate your comment in terms of the language we're using. I love the word, obviously, the word hope. One of the words that I'm really pushing with folks these days, especially being in some of the most densely populated parts of the city, in downtown and East Side and River West, the word I'm using a lot is patience. Patience is a great word. It's one of my favorite prayers. Lord, please make me patient right now. But patience comes from a Latin word patio, and it's interesting, the root, patience is the root, patio means to suffer. That in our suffering, especially on this Good Friday for us of the Christian dispensation, but for anyone knows that you can't have the positive sometimes without the negative. And so I'm praying that we can suffer through this together. And as a religious leader, especially in terms of our Catholic dispensation, we know that the common good is such an important part, not just as Catholics, but the common good of humanity. And so really encouraging my folks to just really stay at home. I think that's a really important thing. Just because you can go out does not mean you should go out. And so, for example, in all of this, we have been, as the Commissioner said, we've been YouTubing, we've been live streaming. If you go on and put anything in terms of our church, there's any number of ways that people can participate at home. But I also think it's a chance for us in the immediate family, what we call the domestic church, kind of amongst ourselves, to find a way to face the suffering as Christ faced the suffering on the cross, to bring that hope to the world, but to realize that we have to get through this and we have to do it together, and we have to do so wisely and prudently in order to bring about an end to the pandemic, but also what I believe is going to be maybe a new to do as a community. So thanks for letting me speak a little bit, but I assure prayers for the city and prayers for all our healthcare workers, prayers for all those people who are trying to keep our grocery stores, stocked, and also to remember especially the vulnerable, the homeless. The Archdiocese is hopefully responding, as much as we can to help those who fall through the cracks.
Thank you very much.